Great job on the body, John. Now let's start rebuilding the mechanical systems.
So here we are in the other part of the garage used for storage. That's our engine right there for the 67 with its tranny. That's another engine out of the white car. So that's a later model, I think a 76 or 78. And it has the better transmission on it. And again, it's painful that I'm not upgrading this car that I've worked so hard on to get to this part, but again, I'm trying to keep it original, authentic. So that's a lesser transmission, slightly lesser motor. So the goal now is to get that motor, which does roll, but I've got to roll it on the asphalt here, and that doesn't go smooth, literally. And then get it into my air-conditioned man cave. Until I snap my fingers, and all of a sudden the engine's in here. How did that happen? I could have filmed that. I thought I was gonna film that whole episode of me getting that bloody thing in here, and I forgot to. But wasn't too much going on. A couple of four-letter words, strained back. I think my arms are overextended. Besides that, we're good to go. The first thing we do is research this motor number to see if we're truly from 1967, because that would change things considerably. The next thing I'll do is remove the transmission, set it aside, and then build a better cradle, because ironically I have two engine mounts or engine stands, but they're both being used to hold the car. I don't want to mess with it because there's still stuff I got to do with the car when I get back to it. Got to do some sanding and other just final body prep. Oh, I gotta do the battery boxes. I never got to those. Got all the bits and pieces, but just never got to it. And now my mind is on engine, so that will all wait. But that won't take long. Because believe me, once I get the drivetrain parts done, the tranny, the engine, the front suspension, rear suspension, I'm gonna be extremely anxious to get the body finished so I can put this bloody thing together and drive it down the street. So that's the next couple of things to do. All right, so looking at the engine tag, we can see it starts with the letters 18V. Well, when you consult all the charts about the motors and what years they correspond with, you'll find out that an 18V was the engine that was introduced 1970 all the way till 1980. So, another way of putting that is that this engine is not original to my 67. I was revamping this or rebuilding it based on the assumption it was, because the goal was to have a numbers matching or component matching vehicle. Well, since that dream is gone, I am forced to make a decision. Do I just continue rebuilding it and make it an MGB that runs good and has new components and these types of things, or do I stick to my guns and try to locate the correct motor for this, which should start with 18GB. That is the correct motor for this year. So I'll contemplate that and try not to hang myself in the meantime. There she is. Another late 66, 67 MGB Roadster. I got this because this has the engine that I need to fix up the other 67. This has got the original 18 GB engine in. This is an all original car, one owner. She's a little bit ragged out, but ironically, the areas that are typically gone on MGBs this old, certainly that have lived their whole lives in Tampa, Florida, is the sills and the floor panels, and they're remarkably in good shape. So the rust issues are actually superficial, you know, under the paint kind of thing. The hood's in great shape and it's all intact. So of course all the bumpers, everything look great. The wheels, everything is good. It actually came with a hard top. The original top's inside. So we'll see what happens. Lots of options now, because now I'm in the rare situation of owning two 67 MGBs, and this one, as nasty as it might look, is in pretty decent shape, and it is numbers matching, all original, and that's interesting. All right, people, let's add to the saga that is this MGB restoration. So just to remind you, it's a 1967 that I'm rebuilding in my cold room. And the body is done. I was tearing apart the engine and found out the hard way the engine was from like a 73 series. I did a whole video on how to discern the various part numbers on MGBs as a result of that. Now that I am learned and not the ignorant buyer getting into this restoration process, I know that I need a GB series engine, 18 GB series. So went out there in the internet world and found this guy you're seeing here. This is a 1967. So I went out to buy it, intending to snag the engine out of it to put into the project car. And this was located in Tampa, about 90 minutes from Orlando. And I can't tear this car apart. It's one of those rockin' hard spots, like the white MGB that I was going to restore, which is sitting, actually, that's been moved, but that's like a 73 that I was going to take the chrome bumpers off and the motor and this out of this car to make the white MGB, which is a 78 later series rubber bumper. I was going to convert it to a chrome bumper, and that white body was in terrific shape, so I couldn't cut it up, right? So I figured I'd buy this guy to revamp that white one into kind of a Frankenstein MGB that was, you know, upgraded parts, alternators, starters, that type of stuff, because the body was just in such great shape. I couldn't cut it up. But remember, I got this just because I needed that GB engine out of it. So I go out and I bring it home. I only paid about $1,000. I never pay more than like $1,000 for any of these cars that I'm buying, so don't think that I'm uber duper rich. You know, buying a decrepit old MGB is relatively cheap, usually $500 to $1,000. So this guy, a little interesting, has a hard top, which I won't used, but I can sell that and revamp the cost of the car. But I started looking around the car, and it turns out this thing is a time capsule. It had one owner, bought in Tampa back in '67, and although it's been stored in various places, some inside, some outside over the years, it is in remarkably good condition. For sure the paint is ragged and it's got this surface rust here, and it has some rust down here and stuff, typical MGB places, but no way is this as torn up and rotted away as my project car that you've just seen, 25 episodes of revamping, cutting out the sills, all that stuff. This guy is in great shape. The other thing that's interesting about it is, again, single owner, never been messed with. So everything you're seeing, every wire, everything is exactly as it was from the factory, including the engine. I don't know if it turns, I don't care, because I'm going to rebuild it anyways. So again, I'm in that rock and hard spot where I can't cut this thing up. This thing is unique. This is something that you could revamp and make into a concourse car, because it is exactly numbers matching perfect. So that's what's going to happen now. My plans have changed. Remember, I was going to end up at the end of all this with two MGBs. One was a '67 original Cherry. I thought it would be numbers matching. I can't get that, but I can at least get system matching, meaning the engine, the tranny, and that all match the year. But it could never be concourse. Not that I'm after that, but at the same time, I do want a car that's numbers matching at the end of this. So now, this will be the second MG. I'm going to continue on with the '67 that you've seen in the episodes, but this will be the second project car because it's beautiful. It's freaking beautiful. As ragged out as it looks, those of you who are in the know will recognize that it still has floor pans. It is a '67. I mean, that's what it is. It's never had anything crazy done to it. The trunk is in remarkably good shape. I mean, this was crazy. Got the old taillights, rounded taillights. Got the wire wheels. So, at the end of all of this nonsense, I will end up with two MGBs. They will both be '67s. One will be date matching. One will be numbers matching. So that's that saga.
Great stuff, John. We're all looking forward to your next informative episode.